Rebel Ridge, the newest Netflix movie from writer-director Jeremy Saulnier, the director of Green Room, Blue Ruin, and Hold the Dark. And Rebel Ridge, it is amazing. If you liked any of his previous work, Green Room, Hold the Dark, Blue Ruin, then you're going to feel right at home here. It is thrilling. It has great action, great acting, great story. It is almost a complete package. It does have some problems, but overall, this is a Netflix movie you do not want to miss. So right out the gate, this movie has probably the most captivating, gripping first 40 to 45 minutes I've seen all year. This movie, like out the gate, within the first minute or two, it just drops you into a situation, and then that situation kind of continues and builds, and then it finally kind of concludes after about 45 minutes. But man, that first 45 minutes was just so entertaining and so just like, oh my gosh, where is this gonna go? What's gonna happen? You feel for the main character, the situation that he's put in, and I don't know. I just want to say out the gate that the first 45 minutes of this movie is just absolutely stunning. It is amazing. And the situation that we're put in is that the opening shot of this film is the main character Terry. He's riding his bike down the road. He gets ran over by a cop. The cop then kind of abuses their powers. They confiscate his money, and we find out that he needs all this money to bail out his cousin. And now that he has no money, he has no way to bail out his cousin, and he has to bail out his cousin because his cousin kind of ratted on some people, and when he goes to jail, those people are going to know who he is and they're going to kill him. So now he's on a ticking clock with no money because the cops confiscated his money, and he needs to try to find a way to break his cousin out. And every step of the way, it's just obstacle after obstacle, and you're just like, how the fuck is he going to do this? And on top of that, there's like this underlying current of like, is Terry a badass? Like, he's just a big bulking dude. He does have a military background, so you're just waiting for him to snap and just take control of the situation. And when he does, the way it's handled is just like perfectly executed. And man, like I said, the first 40 minutes of this movie is just incredible. And man, props to Aaron Pierre, because this is his movie. I think I read somewhere that John Boyega was supposed to be in this role, but I don't know if it's like a scheduling thing, but he ended up not being in this movie. And I don't want to say I'm glad, because I like John Boyega. I think he would have been pretty fun in this role. But now that I see Aaron Pierre in this role, this is his movie. This is his movie to shine. Like, he is absolutely riveting in this movie. Like, he carries this movie on his back. Not that this movie is bad, but like, he is almost in every scene, and he is just a dominating presence. And when he kind of show his skill set, he does it with ease. You believe it. And yeah, it's just an incredible performance. I haven't really seen him before. I think the only thing I've seen him in was in the Shyamalan's movie Old, where he plays what was his fucking name? Something sedan, mid-size sedan, I think. But yeah, he is worth watching this movie. He is fucking great. I can't wait to see more of him. And the cast in general, man. Don Johnson just needs to play villains for the rest of his career. Like, he is so good at like chewing up that villain. But again, what I like about Don Johnson, he's very reserved in this role. He's not like a cheesy villain. He's very believable. He's very menacing when he needs to be. He just plays a really good asshole. And I want to see Don Johnson play more, villain asshole roles, because, he is born to play this role. And man, the action in this movie is so clever and really, really unexpected. It's like, how do I put this? We as action fans know what we want and know what to expect from an action film, but this movie knows what we want, but instead of giving us what we want, it gives us something different, and then we are like, oh, we didn't get what we want, but what we did get was like arguably better than what I thought I wanted. I know it's kind of a confusing thought, but let me give you an example. So towards the end of this movie, Terry has something the cops want, and the cops have something that Terry wants, and so they're like, hey, let's meet up and we'll do a little switcheroo. And so the cops are like, hey, let's meet at Rebel Ridge at first light. And so as an action audience, like, okay, the movie is called Rebel Ridge. We know we're in the climax. We know he's a super badass. And so we know, and we see all the cops in the forest out in Rebel Ridge. Ridge. They're all kind of hiding out, waiting for Terry to show up. And so we know, like, okay, this is the part in the movie where Terry shows up, starts taking people out one by one, you know, and all the cops are freaking out. Where is he? Where is he? And he's running around the woods. We expect that in that climax, but that doesn't happen at all. In fact, the climax doesn't even happen at Rebel Ridge. The climax happens at the police station. And when we get to the police station, we think, you know, again, he goes in there and takes care of business. You're like, okay, here we go. He's going to give it to him. But then he gets held at gunpoint at hostage. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, when is he going to do the thing? And then when he finally kind of unleashes, it's just so different than what we think we want or what we think that we're going to get. Like, we think that it's just going to be John Wick and he's like, bam, 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 shooting people in the head and taking care of business. But that's not what happens. In fact, Terry, I don't think... Wait. Sorry, I'm thinking about this in real time. I don't think a single person dies in this movie. Right? No one dies in this movie. This is an action movie where no one... Right? No one dies. Can anyone remember a part where anyone dies? I don't think there is. And I think that's, I don't know, not that makes the movie like a perfect action movie, but it's just so different than what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing, you know, badass action heroes just fucking go on a murdering spree and killing all these people. But in this movie, that doesn't happen. I think that's unique and different. And again, I'm always going to champion movies that give me something different, a new perspective. And this movie certainly did that. My only critique of Rebel Ridge is that, again, to reiterate, the first 45 minutes is gripping stuff. However, everything after that 45 minutes, not to say that's bad, it's not bad by any means, but the plot kind of turns into like something very personal and intense in the first 45 minutes. It then kind of evolves into like a plot that's, you know, this goes all the way to the top. I mean, it's not quite, you know, a plot that's, you know, it goes all the way to the top, but it's pretty damn close. And that to me just wasn't, the plot isn't as interesting as it was in the first 45 minutes when it was kind of a personal story, a personal struggle that we're kind of along the ride with, trying to figure out how the fuck he's going to get out of the situation. But again, like the whole of them uncovering corruption and the judges and, you know, the lawsuits, just like it becomes less interesting. Not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, not saying it's not entertaining. I'm just saying it's less interesting than what the first 45 minutes were. So in the end, Rebel Ridge is fantastic. It's one of the best thrillers of the year. Great performances from Aaron Pierre, Don Johnson. Two great powerhouses going head to head, some great dialogue, some great tension. This is one of Netflix's best movies I've done in a while, and I've covered some Netflix movies in the past couple months, and oh man, there's a lot of bad Netflix movies, and fortunately, this is not one of them. This is a must-watch. If you need something to watch this weekend, sitting on your couch, please watch Rebel Ridge. Give it a shot. I think you're going to love it. It is fantastic. It is gripping. It is exciting. It is unexpected. It has twists and turns. It has everything you want in like a thriller action movie. 2 thumbs up. Highly recommend this one. Did you watch Rebel Ridge this weekend? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until the next time, I will see you on the next one.